Alfian,
Can I borrow your IC?
why?
Because I want to fill out my tag. My subsidy is almost finished.
This is unlawful.
Pengap RM20
What are you doing, Afi?
selling subsidi diesel to Thailand.
No, Afi. No. You need to stop this, Afi. Stop. It's wrong. This is why full subsidy rationalisation was introduced in Malaysia.
Rationalization policy is more to reform or it's a burden to people?
Every day, millions of Malaysians stop at petrol stations without a second thought, paying for fuel as part as a routine life. But behind every little pump, there is a system far more complex than what meets the eye. From global oil price to national subsidy policies, every decision made at the top eventually reaches the pump we stand at.
What looks like a simple transaction is actually tied to the government spending, economic pressure, and also to the challenge for balancing for the fairness of the people. As subsidies are becoming more difficult to sustain, Malaysia is facing a critical question, a turning point in economic policy. In this documentary, we are going to explore about oil subsidy rationalisation. Is it a reform that is necessary for the long-term national stability, or is it a burden that increases the cost of living for the ordinary citizens?
Fuel subsidy rationalisation is a policy introduced by the Malaysian government to reform the country's fuel subsidy system. The policy aims to make subsidy distribution more targeted and better aligned with the current economic needs. It was introduced as fuel subsidies became an increasingly significant component of government expenditure. Through this approach, the government seeks to improve how public funds are allocated and managed. The policy has become an important topic in Malaysia's economic landscape and continues to attract public attention.
But the real question remains, is oil subsidy rationalisation truly beneficial to the country, to people welfare? In this video, we unpack whether oil subsidy rationalisation is truly a reform or a burden.
Today, we are talking about something affecting almost every Malaysian, fuel subsidy, especially RON95. But more importantly, why this is not just a policy change, it is a reform. When we heard the word reform, it means improvement, change and transformation for a better future. And that is exactly what is happening with the RON95 subsidy system today. Why is it called reform? First, because of cost saving and efficiency. Malaysian RON95 subsidy expenditure dropped from 3 ringgit billion to 1.8 billion ringgit. That represents 1.2 billion ringgit in saving through targeted subsidy.
What makes this reform even more meaningful is where the money goes. Saving are reinvested into education, healthcare and cash assistance. So, instead of blanket subsidies benefiting the wealthy, the system is now focused on those who truly need it. That makes it fair and targeted reform for Malaysia.
Now, we are looking at another side of fuel subsidies in Malaysia, not as a benefit but as a burden. While subsidies may seem helpful on the surface, they come with significant costs. Why is it considered a burden? First, rising fiscal pressure. Fuel subsidies increased from 7.5 billion in 2018 to 52 billion in 2019.
That is a huge jump. A large share of government spending goes just to keep the fuel prices low. And not only that, study shows the top income group receive a much larger share of subsidy benefits than lower income groups. And this honestly raises questions of inequality and inefficient distribution.
So guys, what did you guys think about fuel subsidy?
It's the reform for our country.
Objection. Fuel subsidies are draining the country. Spending can reach billion when oil price rise. But people don't feel billion safe. They feel rising costs in daily life. So what seems like reform on paper already feels like a burden to many.
And that's why reform is needed. The old system wasn't fair and efficient. Higher income groups use more fuel, so they benefit more. Targeted subsidies ensure support goes to those who need it.
But the old system was simple. Look at the report here. Everyone enjoys the benefit. Now, the access is very limited, but the income of the people is still the same. So don't you guys think that this is just a shift or lift of pressure among ordinary people?
Not entirely. Key sectors like transport, logistics are still protected. So, targeted system has actually reduced so many waste and also saved billions.
Even so, the cost of living keep rising and people still feel the pressure. Many question whether the changes are enough. So is this really helpful or is just redistributing the burden?
It's not just about reducing costs, it's about redirecting for the future, for our future. Saving can support healthcare, education and even social support. No, but you listen here first, okay? You see there are a lot of people here, like this before. So don't you think that we need...
Silent everyone!
When we talk about oil subsidy rationalization, the challenge is not just removing subsidies, but ensuring the transition is efficient and fair. A key improvement in the subsidy is by using a precise data-driven targeting system. Subsidies should go to the one who truly need them. Using integrated data can reduce the leakage, improve efficiency and strengthen trust in policy.
But the policy precision alone is not enough. A gradual and transparent transition is very essential. A phased approach helps households adjust while maintaining economic stability.
Thank you.
Datuk Sri, I have a question, Datuk.
Why do you think?
Everyone sit down.
What do you think of? Everyone sit down.
So, what can you conclude?
Okay, so to summarize everything, the oil subsidy rationalization we can see as a burden because the government still actually need to bridge the gap between the market price and the subsidized prices. But we also cannot ignore that it actually helps the citizens, the economic stability, and also contribute to the country's future.
So, is it a burden or reform? What way?
I would like to emphasize that it is not a burden, but it is most a necessity measure to ensure that we have a fiscal sustainability in the long term. So, if not now, I think there is no right time. So it may be unpopular decisions because some parties will be impacted by it. For instance, maybe some of the people from the T20 categories might be impacted by it, but the government will try to be as inclusive as it can be to ensure that the right people and not the wrong parties can enjoy the subsidy, and at the same time reduce leakages. At the same time, our ministry, the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living KPDN, through our minister, Dato' Armizan Muhammad Hadli, has also emphasized that targeted subsidies are not intended to withdraw government assistance from the rakyat, but it is to ensure that it reaches the appropriate groups while balancing public welfare and fiscal sustainability. So, we at the Secretariat for the National Action Council on Cost of Living, or NACOL, we believe that targeted subsidies should be viewed as part of the Madani government's long-term effort to strengthen cost of living management in a more structured and sustainable manner. This is because when subsidy leakages reduce, the government will have a greater fiscal space to redirect allocations towards programs that have a more direct and meaningful impact on the rakyat, such as cash transfers, healthcare, public transportation, and social protection. For example, the Madani government in this year has implemented Sumbangan Asas Rahmah Sara untuk Semua initiative, whereby beginning 9 February 2026, a total of 22 million Malaysians aged 18 and above have received one-off cash assistance of 100 ringgit per individual.